Let's be honest. The idea of investing sounds amazing, right? Make your money work for you. Build wealth. Live with financial freedom. But when it's time to take that first step, most people freeze. They overthink. They procrastinate. And that moment, right there, is where dreams get delayed or even destroyed. Now, why does this happen? Because the first investment isn't about money. It's about mindset. Most people think they need thousands of dollars to get started. False. What you need is clarity. You need courage. You need to remove the mental blocks that whisper things like, "It's too risky," or "I'm not smart enough," or "What if I lose everything?" That voice in your head? It's not protecting you. It's limiting you. And if you're serious about success, in investing or in anything, you've got to learn how to dominate that voice. See, fear is a natural response, but staying stuck is a choice. You weren't born to tiptoe around opportunity. You were built to break through it. Let me give it to you straight. The number one barrier people face in investing isn't money. It's fear of the unknown. They don't teach you this stuff in school. Most people weren't raised by investors, so when they hear words like stocks, mutual funds, real estate, or ETFs, their mind shuts down. You don't need to know everything. You just need to learn something. Pick one lane. Learn the basics. Apply, then learn more. Don't wait for confidence to show up before you act. Confidence comes after action. Start small. There's power in small. You don't lift 200 pounds on day one. You train. You adapt. Same thing here. If all you've got is $10, start with that. Not because it's going to make you rich, but because it's going to shift your identity from a watcher to a doer, from someone who wants to invest to someone who is investing. That mental shift? That's everything. Now, let's talk about the second barrier, information overload. You start researching and boom, you're drowning in opinions. One YouTuber says, "Buy this stock." Another says, "Sell it." One blog says, "Crypto is the future." Another says, "It's a scam." Here's what you do. Stop trying to understand everything. Understand yourself. What are your goals? Are you investing for retirement? For passive income? For generational wealth? Your goal determines your strategy. Focus on your goal. Then find a mentor, a book, or a podcast that speaks directly to that. Don't collect random tips. Build intentional knowledge. Next up, perfectionism. Perfectionism is just procrastination in disguise. You want to make the perfect move, so you make no move at all. You keep saying, "I'll invest when I know more," or "I'll start next year." But success doesn't wait. Wealth doesn't wait. Time is your greatest weapon in investing. And every day you delay is a day your money could have been growing. You're not aiming for perfect. You're aiming for progress. And if you're gonna make mistakes, and trust me, you will, make them early. Make them small. Learn. Adjust. Keep moving. That's how champions are built. Another big one, trust issues. You hear about scams. You see people lose money. And it makes you hesitant. Cautious is good. Paralyzed is not. You've got to do your research. You've got to vet your sources. But at some point, you've got to trust yourself. Think about it. You've trusted employers with your time. You've trusted companies with your energy. Why not trust yourself with your own future? Get educated, not paranoid. Smart investors take calculated risks, not blind ones, not emotional ones. Now, let's talk about mindset. Discipline beats talent every single time. You don't need to be born into money. You need to develop the right habits. Set a schedule. Automate your investments. Make it a routine, like brushing your teeth. You don't debate it. You just do it. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. That's how wealth is built. Quietly. consistently. And you need to understand, success is not always loud. It's not flashy. Real success is behind the scenes. It's the decision to skip the impulse buy and put that money into your future. It's reading one chapter about money when you could have scrolled on your phone. It's the small, invisible wins that stack up over time. That's how legacies are built. And don't fall into the comparison trap. Just because someone else is ahead doesn't mean you're behind. You're not late, you're on your path. Run your race. Build at your pace. One more thing. Stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is a wave. It comes and goes. What you need is commitment. You commit, and then you act. Even when it's boring. Even when it's slow. Especially when it's slow. That's the test. Can you show up when no one's clapping? Can you invest when no one's watching? If the answer is yes, you're already winning. Because the people who succeed aren't the ones who do it once. They're the ones who show up again and again and again. They learn, they adapt, they grow. They fall in love with the process, not just the outcome. Let me tell you something real. Every empire was once just an idea. Every investor you admire today started where you are, confused, nervous, unsure. But they acted, and so can you. You don't need a fancy degree. You don't need $1 million. You need focus. You need consistency. You need belief. You need to stop asking, what if it doesn't work? And start asking, what if it does? Because once you step in, once you take that first action, you'll realize something powerful. It was never about the money. It was about becoming the kind of person who doesn't just dream, but builds. And that person is you.